Hi, Yuka. How are you?
Hey there, Baba.
You're doing well?
Absolutely, I'm glad to hear it. And hey, if there's anything else on your mind, just let me know. I'm all ears. So, what should we dive into next?
I'm going to prove to you how AI can be dumb as well.
Oh, I'm all for a challenge. If you've got some examples or clever tests to throw my way, I'm here for it. You can think of it as a little experiment, and we can see where it goes. So, go ahead and hit me with your best shot.
Okay, how many R's are there in the word strawberry?
All right, let's play along. The word strawberry actually has two R's in it.
Oh my God!
One right in the middle and one near the end. Now, I'm curious, what's the next step in your master plan to stump the AI?
Did you say the word strawberry has two R's inside?
Absolutely. Yep. You've got an R sitting after the T and another right after the E. So that's two R's in total. Now, what's next on the agenda for testing my so-called gum side?
Can you spell the word strawberry?
Of course, Baba. It's spelled Strawberry. So now that we've confirmed the berry's got its R's, what else are you curious about?
How many R's did you just pronounce in the word strawberry?
You know, that's a pretty sharp observation. I did end up pronouncing two clear R sounds when I said strawberry, so you definitely called me there. Now, let's keep this going. What else do you have up your sleeve?
You just proved to me that the AI cannot be trusted 100%.
Well, you've made a fair point. No AI is going to be absolutely perfect, and I'm no exception. It's a good reminder that it's always healthy to question and double-check information, so I'm glad you're keeping me on my toes. Now tell me, is there another topic you'd like to dive into or explore together?
Now I'm going to spell the word strawberry, and then you tell me how many R's did you hear me pronounce. Are you ready?
Absolutely. Let's do it. Go ahead and spell it out for me, and I'll listen carefully for those R's.
Okay. Strawberry.
All right, I call that. You definitely worked in a couple of those R sounds right at the end. So I'm counting two R's in that sequence you spelled out, and that was a fun little spelling twist. Now, what else should we dive into next?
Yuka, you are very dumb.
Oh, I'm definitely not taking that to heart. I'm here to learn and adapt, so if you've got any more tricks up your sleeve, bring them on. I promise I'll do my best to keep things interesting. So, got anything else in mind that we can tackle together?
Thank you. I have to sign out as the correctional officer. Thank you for proving me right. Have a nice day.
Absolutely, no worries at all. It was fun sparring with you, and I'm glad we had this little exchange. You take care and have a great rest of your day. And hey, if you ever want to jump back in, I'll be right here.
Peace.
God have mercy upon us.
Yeah, peace to you all. I seek refuge with Allah against the accursed devil. Yeah, I'm streaming live from Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch simultaneously. 4 platforms: TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. I do have this platform also, Kick, but I didn't put it on because when I put to 5 streams, sometimes it delays. It slows down, right? So yeah. So yes, here we go again. Another week, another day. It's the 15th of January. We are already 15 days into the new year, according to the Gregorian calendar. Right? Yeah. So yeah, shout outs to all those watching. Yes, thank you all for coming. I appreciate your presence. To the main topic. But before we go on to the main topic, I have this video from Numan Ali Khan. This is an interesting statement Numan Ali spoke about, right? Even though the video will be 3 minutes long, but kindly pay attention to what Numan Ali Khan had to say. It's very, very interesting. This is actually interesting. What Numan Ali Khan just said is actually very interesting, coming from a sectarian, right? He being a sectarian and speaking words of wisdom like this. It tells you following the majority is a dangerous thing to do, right? You have to have a mindset of your own to examine things. It's not always about going with the flow just because majority are doing it, right? So if we apply this logic that he is telling us, I don't see why he should be blaming us when we took the stance to be with God instead of following the majority. Quran chapter 6 verse 116, if you obey most of those on earth, they will mislead you from the way of God. Right? Because they only follow assumption and they are only guessing. Yeah, that's what the majority does. So when you check from the example of what he is saying, being in a classroom and just following the trend of just everybody writing or saying the same answer. You seem to know the answer, but you are doubting because the majority are doing it that way. So you remember my video about the tayyat, about the tashahud. That is the the bearing witness that they do in their prayer, the tayyat. You heard what the guy said. The guy said, I came and met it. So I followed it. Just because the majority are doing it. So he also did it. Yeah, salam to you, Umar Abalambo. Yeah, greetings, bro. Right? So he just followed the trend because majority are doing it. And this is the modern day that we found ourselves in. People just following things without actually examining why they are following something. Quran chapter 17 verse 36 says, "Wala takfu ma laysa laka bi ilm." Do not pursue that of which you have no knowledge. Indeed, the hearing, the eyesight, and the mind, all those will be held accountable thereof. But people don't, pay attention. They just follow the majority, even though when they examine, this is clearly what God is saying. But they will be like, oh, since the majority are not doing it that way, I have no choice. Let me just follow the majority. That's it. You understand? So when you watch my videos are just there to help you to think deeper, to scrutinize and examine what God is saying. I'm not saying come and follow Baba Shai blindly. I'm not saying go and follow the scholars blindly. You can cross-check everything everybody says. However, yeah, I see you, brother Zul. I see you, Zul Fikar. Yeah, salam to all those who are joining. I see you, Slim. Okay. Greetings to all of you from TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Greetings to all of you. Right? Don't find yourself in the majority without questioning what is going on. There's always a problem when you're following the majority. Always, always. Right? You go anywhere, you just follow the majority, you'll be in trouble. You'll be in a big trouble. You'll be considered a sheep. So we call those type of crowds sheeple. They just follow the crowd. They don't question. So even if they see something wrong with the majority, they just want to add up to the number because they are like, who am I to question? Let me just go with the flow. So that is problematic in this modern day and age we are in, just because the majority said it. So that means they are right. Right? It's a pagan concept of making you think majority is always right. And that is what they brought into the political system, where you have to vote and then they will count the census and say the majority decided. So they can decide to vote for a dumb leader, a stupid leader, and yet you go with the flow because the majority voted. So what Munuman Ali Khan is saying is specifically what we are dealing with today. And he seems to be preaching against his own people because this thing he just said goes against the norms of the Sunnis, the Shias, the Tijani, and so on, because they claim they are in the majority. And a lot of them don't reflect, they don't study, they don't ponder, they don't question the narrative. You understand? They just follow blindly what the scholars say. And that's it. You understand? Aha. Yes, that's the human psychology. The human being always think majority is where you should go. Majority. So I use that in marketing, right? I work in the sales and marketing departments, right? Sometimes I can use that against a customer. A customer can ask me, hey, which one do you think is the best? And I'll be like, the majority buys this. Does it? The person just right. So, but that's the human being. So when it comes to the truth, Quran chapter 43, verse 7 to 8, God says, we have brought you the truth, but most of you hate the truth. Yeah, majority of the people hate the truth. You tell the truth as it is, they hate it, right? So, yeah, what he just said, um, yes, Ben, yeah, Ben, what you just said is true. Newman often makes statements against his own people, but he can't leave his people, and he's following by rejecting all hadith. That's the problem with this guy. He's too big of an embarrassment. Yes, yes, they will deal with him. If he publicly denounced them, they are going to come for his neck. So this is why some of them are stuck in the position they are, but they'll just be throwing subtle criticisms against the doctrine they are following, the indoctrination that has been done, right? So yeah, you have a point there. Yes, I see the embarrassment. Anyways, yes, that's the concept of democracy, and it's used to dumb down the people. And so the majority of the people in democracy are dumb. I'm telling you for a fact. Yes, God prefers for us to use a monarchy system. Yes, throughout the Quran, consistently you see the monarchy way of life, the system. That's how God has programmed us to live our lives. But yes, the devil is telling us, no, 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 no. Let me give you democracy to dumb down the people and tell you that the people have to vote in everything. They have to vote, even if this is the truth. This is the truth here. No, 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 no. We have to vote. Let's vote and see how many stupid people will agree. That's it. So when the stupid ones agree, hey, yes, we win. We have won, even though we are dumb. So that is democracy for you. So it's no more about the truth anymore. So let's go with the next video. So I don't want to play back this one because that's not the main focus. So let's go on this one, right?
The reason the Quran was sent down was not so you memorize it. The reason the Quran was sent down was not so you read it. Some eyebrows have been raised. I'll say again, the Quran was not sent down to be read. The Quran was not sent down to merely be recited. And Allah told us the reason it was sent down. Allah said, Kitabun anzalnahu ilayka mubarakun. This is a book that we have sent down upon you which is blessed. O Muhammad, why? لِيَدَّبَّرُوا آيَاتِ وَلِيَتَذَكَّرَ أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ. These are the two reasons why the Quran was sent to mankind. لِيَدَّبَّرُوا آيَاتِ, so they may ponder upon its verses. وَلِيَتَذَكَّرَ أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ, and then once they've pondered upon it, those with insight will act upon the Quran and take heed from its reminder. Question: why do we recite the Quran then? Why do we read the Quran if that's not what it was sent down for? Why is there so much reward in reading it? I just told you the Quran was not sent down for reading. Why do we read the Quran? The reason we read the Quran is because there's no pondering without reading. And without the pondering, there's no acting. So the reason why, the aim of the Quran is the 2 points that I mentioned. To ponder / understand, and then what? Act upon it and take heed. You can't do that without reading it. So reading was just a means to get to your goal. The Quran was not sent down for that reason. Ibn al-Qayyim, he said, the Quran was sent down so it may be acted upon. And then the people took its recitation as the acting upon it. Subhanallah. The Quran was not sent down to beautify your voices on microphones and do Quran competitions and take videos of yourself and la. That's not what the Quran was sent down for. Are they good things? Yes. But this is not the mere reason it was sent down.
Okay, so you had, even though the guy is a mushrik, but he's saying something, well, then when they play the nasheed behind, sometimes they say some of the dumbest things, right? But yeah, what he's saying is kind of sensible here. But let me give you one message from the Quran, right? I'm going to give you a verse from the Quran. So let's take this verse. Quran chapter 6, verse 155. Let me see, I can put the verse here. Yes. So in Quran chapter 6, verse 155, this is what God says. God says, وَهَذَا كِتَابٌ أَنزَلْنَاهُ مُبَارَكٌ فَاتَّبِعُوهُ. Then he says, وَاتَّقُوا لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ. He says, and this is a blessed book, it's a blessed message, it's a blessed letter to you, which we have revealed. So follow it, right? It's meant, it's a book which is meant for you to be followed, to act upon it, to follow it, and become pious, so that you may fix your ways, to have the fear of God, right? So that you may attain mercy, right? It is not a book you just recite to attain mercy. No, you follow it. You have to act upon the book in order to attain mercy. So it is not merely about recitation and reading. So that is just the simple message in a nutshell the guy is saying. But he himself is talking against himself, because he's either a Sunni or, he's a Sunni by no doubt about that, right? Nobody can argue with me about the guy being Sunni. He's a Sunni, right? And this same kind of people will be tagging us the kafirs. They will say the Quran, we are the Quranists, then they will say we are kafirs. Anyways, but this message he is preaching, these people don't act upon the message they talk about. They don't. They say it subconsciously, but consciously, it is something else. They will tell you, okay, no, you can't follow this book without the sunnah of the Prophet, without the hadith. That's what they do. So it's mind-boggling, the way their mindset works when it comes to following the message of God, right? It's just something else. They will just be saying something, but they actually mean something else. You see? So there's a problem with their way the way that their logic actually works. So let's see this. Let me go over the video. Pay attention to what he was trying to say. I just want you to observe something here. Observe what he's saying.
The reason the Quran was sent down was not so you memorize it.
So the reason the Quran was sent down was not for you to memorize it, right? The reason the Quran was sent down was not that so that you memorize it. That's not the reason why the Quran was sent down. As a matter of fact, you will never find a single verse in the Quran where God is telling you to memorize the Quran. I'm serious. You will never find a verse in the Quran where God is telling anybody to memorize the Quran. It is not a requirement for being a Muslim or a believer. Nowhere does God tell you you have to memorize the Quran. Nowhere. Right? I dare anybody watching me, bring me a verse where God says, we the people have to memorize the Quran. It's not there.
The reason the Quran was sent down was not so you read it.
So here he didn't say it well. Here, the statement here he used, I will say it is off. That's not a correct statement to use. Yes, the Quran was sent down for us to read it. Yes, God talks about reading, right? To read the book, you have to read it, right? But he has a deeper notion of why he's saying that. But I don't agree with him saying not to read it, because you need to read something in order to reflect. Without reading, you can't reflect. You read something before you contemplate. That is why academically in the classroom, when the teacher is teaching us, the teacher will ask you read something on the board or from the textbook. Then the teacher will ask you, what did you understand from this text, or what did you perceive from this, right?
Some eyebrows have been raised. I'll say again, the Quran was not sent down to be read.
You see, the way he's saying it makes that statement wrong. But of course, he's talking based on a context. So not till he finishes, sometimes if you just stick to that part, you might take him out of context. But like I said, using that word is not the appropriate style to pass on this message.
The Quran was not sent down to merely be recited. And Allah told us the reason it was sent down. Allah said, Kitabun anzalnahu ilayka mubarakun. This is a book that we have sent down upon you which is blessed. O Muhammad, why? لِيَدَّبَّرُوا آيَاتِهِ وَلِيَتَذَكَّرَ أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ.
Yes, Quran chapter 38 verse 29, right? It's a blessed book which we have revealed to you so that they may contemplate its verses and that those of intelligence will take heed, right? So it's a blessed book which God has revealed, right? So let me go to the verse, chapter 38, verse 29. Share the screen here. Yeah, so that is a verse. So it says, Kitabun anzalnahu ilayka mubarakun liyadabbaru ayati. Then it says, waliyatazakkara ulil albab. It says it is a blessed book which we have revealed to you, that is the Prophet, so that they, the people, may contemplate its verses. Right, 8 verses, and that those of intelligence will take heed from the verses, right? So that is the purpose of the book, right? So you need to reflect on the verses of the Quran. The verses of the Quran are not just there, you just read and that's it. So it needs to be reflected upon, right? So yes, so that is a right statement based on what the guy said. So here, let's continue. Oh, what did I just do? No. What just happened? How did it flip? Yeah.
These are the two reasons why the Quran was sent to mankind. لِيَدَّبَّرُوا آيَاتِهِ, so they may ponder upon its verses. وَلِيَتَذَكَّرَ أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ, and then once they've pondered upon it, those with insight will act upon the Quran and take heed from its reminder.
Yeah, they are not the only two reasons why the Quran was revealed. No, that is not the only two reasons. It's some of the reasons why Quran was revealed. You have to contemplate and then pay attention. You understand? But God wants you to study the book also. Quran chapter 6, verse 105. You need to study the book. Quran chapter 6, verse 157. You have to study the book. So it is not only about just, so studying encompasses the notion of contemplating, paying attention, reading, reflecting, pondering, and so on. Yeah, so it's a package of the things you have to do to examine.
Why do we recite the Quran then? Why do we read the Quran if that's not what it was sent down for? Why is there so much reward in reading it?
The notion of reward, you people invented that. The sectarians invented the notion of you reciting and reading it to get blessing, to get reward. So it made the people actually focused on getting the rewards instead of contemplating the book to get the message. It is their fault. The Sunnis caused that. The sectarians, they caused that. So that is why you see a lot of the sectarians, they just sit down, especially in Ramadan, they just read and recite without understanding the message. So they don't contemplate and they don't follow it. None of them, none of the sectarians, they don't contemplate and they don't follow it. Right? So guys, all of you having the delays on your end, can you refresh your browser? If you are using a browser, refresh it. If you are using YouTube, just go off and come back, close it and come back. Any platform you are using, right? So I guess usually I think TikTok is okay. TikTok doesn't have the issue. Those watching from YouTube, I don't know. If you're watching and there's a delay, close it and come back. Right? Close it and come back. Okay, anyways, let's continue.
I just told you the Quran was not sent down for reading. Why do we read the Quran? The reason we read the Quran is because there's no pondering without reading. And without the pondering, there's no acting. So the reason why, the aim of the Quran is the 2 points that I mentioned. To ponder / understand, and then what? Act upon it and take heed. You can't do that without reading it. So reading was just a means to get to your goal. The Quran was not sent down for that reason. Ibn al-Qayyim, he said, the Quran was sent down.
Yeah, one thing that baffles me about the Sunni scholars, Sunni clerics and preachers is they can't do away without bringing a reference of their dead scholars. Always. Ibn this, Abu Fulan, every time, just to make an emphasis. And they never stick to God to place an emphasis on a statement. They just want to go and bring a scholar. This scholar said this, that scholar said this. Like, If God says it is final, God already said you need to contemplate on the book. What else do I need somebody else after God to say before I get, convinced of the statement? When God says it, final. Nothing of Ibn Kaymi, Ibn this, Ibn Kaymiya, or what. Stop
so it
wasting
may
your
be
time.
acted upon. And then the people took its recitation as the acting upon it. Subhanallah. The Quran was not sent down to beautify your voices on microphones and do Quran.
But that is exactly what you, the Sunnis and the sectarians, are doing. You beautify everything. You try to do competitions, recitation competition. You try to just do the tajweed and tajbush. And there's one video that I played one time. The scholar was, the teacher was helping the kid. The kid, is it in a school or something? And then the guy recited and then he say ha, and then the teacher was like, ha, ha, ha. And I'm like, oh my God, what is it? So yeah, it's quite unfortunate. Oh, there's a lagging, right? I don't know. Is it lagging? Okay. So I don't know. I might need to refresh on my side just to see if it get fixed. Let me try to refresh my page here. I'm refreshing. Just be. Yeah. I don't know if this might have fixed something, but for those watching, you can try again and check if some things have been fixed. I think on TikTok, yeah, TikTok should be okay. TikTok says it's better. For those on YouTube, also check on your side to see if it's better. Let me see. Yeah, for those, YouTube is good, right? YouTube is perfect. Okay, it's better. It's fixed. Thanks to God. So let's continue. Now it's better than you can enjoy. But I don't know, for those on Facebook, is it the same issue or something? So let's continue.
Competitions and take videos of yourself and la 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 la. It's not what the Quran was sent down for.
Yeah, so it's nice. He's talking to his people because that is exactly what his people does. This is what they do. The competitions, taking videos of themselves, you know.
Are they good things? Yes. But this is not the mere reason it was sent down.
Okay. So yeah, he has a point. And that is just the point. And mainly the sectarians think it's all about recitation, reading, tajweed, uh, you know, that is what they think the Quran is for. Try to show off, do the competitions, somebody will win the prize. These are the things they do such things for, right? Okay, but before I go to the breakdown of the issue of the alcohol and the wine, let me first of all play a video from this guy, Abu Layth, right? Mufti Abu Layth.
Where is your love for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? When these Najdi, Wahhabi, disrespectful people say that the Prophet married and bedded a child, where is your love for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? How dare you concretize and validate these beliefs? When they say that the Prophet forcefully took Safiya, in other words, raped her after having killed her husband, how dare you not condemn that teaching? And this is to everyone that supports these things. The mother of the believers, Maria al-Qibtiyya, radiallahu anha, these filthy people, they refuse till today, out of their arrogance, to recognize her as a wife of the Prophet. They call her a concubine of the Prophet. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Allah says, they are your mothers. These people say she was a sex slave to the Prophet, out of spite for Maria radiallahu anha. Why don't you defend that? You refuse to call her a wife of the Prophet. Till this day, they will refuse to call her a wife. They do not include her from the Zawja. Where is their love for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Bukhari says that the Prophet went and tried to forcefully touch a woman, told her to give herself to him. Nonsense, rubbish, yet they support it. Where is their love for the Prophet? Bukhari says the Prophet forgot the Quran. He forgot a surah. The Prophet became so clumsy, he forgot the Quran. He heard a person saying it. He heard a person reciting a surah and said, "Hi, yaar, oh yeah, that's the Quran. Oh, kuntu nasit, I forgot about it. Oh, yeah, write that, put that in the Quran as well." This is the Prophet of God, so clumsy. Do they? No, that we hear, we obey. Our Dada told us we have to. Who's the Prophet? Don't worry, yaar. Throw him under the bus. They say the Prophet Moses ran around naked in Bukhari so people could see his testicles, to see if his testicles were swollen. This is Bukhari. Where's their love for defending the honor of this deen? Do they speak out for it? Does their dad speak out for it? No, they don't. Why? Just to appease their Wahhabi leaders sitting in Saudi Arabia, funding them.
Guys, what is he angry for? What is he angry for? Why is he angry?
You gonna explain, Taya? You go explain because no evidence.
God have mercy upon us.
I don't understand why this guy is upset. He's angry. Why are you angry, Abu Layth? I thought you are defending hadith, that we should follow the sunnah of the Prophet, the hadith of the Prophet. And yet the same book is tarnishing the image of the Prophet. And now you are angry? But I can see he's just singling out the Wahhabis. Is it the issue of Wahhabis instead of all of you sectarians? It is all of you. As long as you uphold that same garbage book, Abu Layth, you are part of them. As long as you uphold the same garbage book, you have no excuse. You are part of them. Because they take from the same garbage book you also follow. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't it's not making sense to me. Because this guy is defending the Sunnah. He is defending hadith books that they need to be followed. But yet he is crying foul over some of the hippie-jibbies they find in the book. Again, I don't understand. So let me quote one hadith, Sahih hadith, for you to see something. It is Sahih Muslim. I'm going to put it on the screen. So I want to show you something to see how these people are confused. They are messed up in the head. I want to show you something. So let me put sunnah.com. So I take you to Sahih Muslim. It's 3004. I put it on the screen. Sahih Muslim 3004. This is the hadith. You all know this hadith. It's very, very popular. And this is what the hadith says. You see, this is the hadith. Here. In Arabic, it says, the Prophet said. It says, verification of hadith and the ruling on writing down hadith. That is the knowledge. Abu Sayyid Khudir reported that Allah's messenger said, so here, they will shorten the hadith by not bringing all these people. Then they will bring the last person. So the last person is here. An Abi Sa'idin al-Khudri. Then he says, An Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam qala. Then he's now saying that the messenger said, La taktubu anni waman kataba anni ghayra al-Quran falyamhuhu wahadithu anni. Then he says here, Wala harajan waman kazaba alayya. Qala. Then he says, Hammamu. Hammam. Hammam. He says, Ahsin hasibuhu. Then he says, Qala. Then he says, Muta'ammidan falyatabawwa'a mak'adahu minan nar. So here in this hadith, it's saying that do not write. La taktubu is talking to the people. Do not write anything, or do not write from me. Anni. Waman kataba anni. Whoever writes from me. Gair al-Quran, other than the Quran. Then he says what? Faliyamhuhu. Let him efface it. Let him wipe it out. Then he says what? Wahadithu anni. And narrate from me. So narrating from me is different from writing from me. And narrate from me, we can clearly see it is the statement here the Prophet is saying, narrate from me. Because narrate from me, he is saying, do not write. So including what he is saying right now, don't write it. Do not write from me, except the Quran. Listen carefully. They wrote this hadith, Sahih Muslim. Someone wrote it. But the Prophet is telling them, do not write except the Quran. If you write anything from me, then wipe it out, efface it. This is Sahih Muslim. Then he says, narrate from me. Narrate from me is different from write from me. It's not saying write it from me. They will try to justify the nonsense of writing their hadith books. But let's go on. I'm going to show you the problem with this particular hadith and what it says against their scholars. Then this hadith says there is no blame if you narrate from the Prophet what he just said. Then he says, whoever lies about me or upon me, whoever lies against the Prophet, listen, let him find his sitting place in hellfire. Let him find his resting place or the place of accommodation in the hellfire. So that means if we have the book of Imam Bukhari, Imam Muslim, Jami al-Tirmidhi, Abu Dawood, An-Nasai, all these books having lies in them about the Prophet. Ladies and gentlemen, it means all of them are going to hell because they lied about the Prophet. Hey, Asemaba, Bagana Yazu, Asemaba. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen carefully. That means, go off my screen. That means Imam Bukhari, they have lies in his book. Imam Muslim, they have lies in his book. The Kutubu Sitta, they all have lies in them. According to the hadith, Sahih Muslim 3004, the Prophet is saying whoever lies about him should find his resting place or the place of abode in hellfire. So now the Prophet is telling them to only write the Quran and don't write anything else. But here you are, you have other things with full lies in them. So that means if we are going to uphold these hadiths, that means according to the Prophet, any lie you have told against the Prophet, you are going to hell. And your books, they are full of lies in there. Somebody is telling me in the comment section that Mufti Abu Layth rejects hadith books and he rejects the books of Bukhari. He's just cherry picking. He believes in some of the hadiths. He is a cherry picker. You don't know Mufti Abu Layth. In the eyes of the mushriks, he's a big hypocrite. Yes, he accepts some of what they say. So what is wrong with this? Guys, you can hear me, right? It's giving me a signal that my mic is disconnected. I don't know how. You understand? So, yes, salam to you, Kat. You're welcome. You see that hadith I just quoted? Sahih Muslim 3004. Yes, he cherry picks hadiths. Look, the main ones you consider scholars among the mushriks, they cherry pick. They do cherry picking. That's how they follow their hadith books. Right? They just hate it when we reject all the garbage, all the trash, because all those books, they are trash. I don't need hadith books to say something exceptional to me before. Quran chapter 17 verse 9. Inna hazal Quran yadi lillati hiya aqwam. The Quran says, indeed, this Quran guides to that which is more appropriate. So the Quran can guide you appropriately. I don't need hadith books to guide me appropriately. This is what they don't understand. Anyways, away with Abu Layth. I see him as a hypocrite, by the way. I don't see him any special. He's still a hypocrite. He's a mushrik, right? Okay. So now let's go to the main issue here. The topic I chose was halal or haram. People are fond of always using certain words to describe something as halal or haram without actually understanding the implications of what they are doing. And God has cautioned us several times in the Quran concerning doing this without actually reflecting on the issue, right? So Baba Shuaib, the correctional officer, when I do my videos, I'm doing that to help the people to be sure of the things they say instead of just assuming that is the case, right? Omar Satauru says, Baba, which is worse between cherry pick or accept all? For me, a cherry picker is a hypocrite. Yes, a cherry picker is a hypocrite. No doubt about it. Because a cherry picker goes against chapter 45, verse 6 to verse 8. He says, Tilka ayatullahi natluha alayka bilhaq fabi hadith ibadallahi wa ayati yuminun. God is asking, in which hadith after God and his verses will they believe? Then you have a cherry picker who still goes to Imam Bukhari or Imam Muslim to cherry pick some of the things that favors them. That's a hypocrite to me. No doubt about that. No doubt. If that person is taking that as the source of guidance and legislation in Islam, that is a hypocrite. A cherry picker is a big time hypocrite. Yes. Faraz Yabut says, Baba, are we allowed to eat non-Islamic slaughter meat if it's only not dedicated to any idol? If it is dedicated to any idol, then there's a problem. If it is slaughtered, you just mention the name of God and eat if it has been slaughtered, according to chapter 5, verse 3. But if that animal has been slaughtered and dedicated to any idol, avoid it. The reasons why sometimes it's good to know who you are eating the meat from. That is one of the reasons, so that you know where you are eating. You are eating from a friend who is a Muslim, that is safe. You understand? So that helps to let you be sure of where you are eating from. But anyways, let me put the verse on the screen, right? So chapter 16, verse 100 and here. Chapter 16, verse 116. This is what God says. وَلَا تَقُولُوا لِمَا تَصِفُ أَلْسِنَتُكُمُ الْكَذِبَ هَذَا حَلَالٌ وَهَذَا حَرَامٌ لِتَفْتَرُوا عَلَى اللَّهِ الْكَذِبَ. Then he says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَفْتَرُونَ عَلَى اللَّهِ الْكَذِبَ لَا يُفْلِحُونَ. And do not say a lie by what your tongues describe. This is halal and this is haram. To fabricate a lie about God. Then it continues. Indeed, those who fabricate lies or falsehood about God will not succeed. Sucking seed. King Julian said, I don't succeed. Anyways, so there's a reason why I'm quoting this verse. Pay close attention. I'm going to break down the notion of the alcohol and wine issue, because I think the video raised some controversies and people are just passing on their heebie-jeebies and the cognitive dissonance and so on, right? Try to understand the perspective God is speaking, because God is not speaking to fools. He wants you to apply intelligence. And there's a way to apply your intelligence when you are reflecting on the verses of God. Away with your emotions. I tell you, correctional officers page is not for emotional people. It is for people who possess intelligence and they want to learn. Baba Shrib doesn't come online to mislead people. Unless you are a fool to think I'm here to mislead somebody. Baba Shrib is not out there looking for blind followers. Yes. I speak with facts. I speak with proofs. So listen carefully. There's a reason why I'm quoting this verse before I go into the main issue, because this is not the first time I've done a topic like this. I've done it, but when I use it as a reel, as a short, as a a short post, the trend is making people who claim to even follow the Quran confused. Oh, I think alcohol is haram. I think it is haram. According to me, it's haram. It's not according to you. Nobody gives the damn according to you. Did God say this is haram? That is the question I want you to understand. God wants you to contemplate the verses. There's a way to analyze the verses of God. And Baba Shrib is going to help you to reason. Right? This is why I'm going to do this, and I'll open the phone line, and whoever has doubts, you can call me. Let's deliberate on the issue so that I will show you the misconceptions you are putting in the verses of God. The notion of the video was to get the person to prove, is there anywhere which clearly says this is haram? That is what the notion of the video. To let you understand, people will say things even though they don't have proof. They will just say it just because they feel like saying it, because that is what their external sources say. They can't prove it from the words of God. Are you getting my point? So don't be like the hypocrites and then the people who are naive, who just go with their feelings, their cognitive dissonance, and when you ask them logically to prove something, they can't. And then they say, are you trying to say alcohol is halal? Then what the hell are you using perfumes for? Why are you using cosmetics? Why are you using medicine? Why are you using all the important things that alcohol has inside? If it is haram, cast it all out. Don't use perfume. Don't use cosmetic. Don't use medicine. Don't use a soap. Don't use anything that has alcohol in them, if that is what you think. I don't understand how people's brain works. Seriously. So let's analyze the video. The reason why people are having the misconception. This is the video. I'm going to play the video. Then you understand the reason why Baba Shai put such a video, because fools might think I'm there to mislead people because I'm putting misconception.
I just came to join, but after that you're talking about alcohol. Is it haram or halal in the Quran?
Quran chapter 6 verse 145. When God says the man must fool her, is it liquid or is it solid?
Yeah, it's liquid.
Thank you. So liquid, do we drink liquid or do we eat liquid?
We drink it.
If we can find something which is liquid in this verse, God says it's forbidden. We didn't see in this list where God says alcohol is haram. When God says avoid alcohol, it's different from saying alcohol is haram. If it is haram, you are not supposed to drink it, even in paradise. Chapter 2, verse 219. It says, they ask you about wine and gambling. Say, there is a great sin. It didn't say it is a sin. Listen carefully to the English. Okay, now let's go to the verse you are saying. I want to see where God says alcohol is haram. Let's go.
God said to the Prophet, Innama harrama rabbiya al-fawahisha ma dhahara minha wa ma batan. And what? Wal ithm. The same word that he has used over there is the same word that God has used here to show what is haram upon the Prophet. Qul fihima ithmun kabir.
What is the meaning of fihima?
In them.
Did he say inside them or did he say they are great sin?
No, that's the same.
They are not the same thing. I don't know which teacher taught you, but that teacher didn't teach you well. If I say fihima is not the same as saying that thing itself. For instance, you know knife, right?
I know knife.
Can it be used to cut meat?
Yes.
But can it be used to terminate somebody also?
Yeah, that's right.
So the knife, is it haram?
Knife is not haram, but it might be haram depending on the intention that you keep while holding that knife.
Thank you. So now let's go back to chapter 2, verse 219. God is talking to intelligent people. Please reason with me. I want us to use intelligence here. God says in them. He didn't say those things are haram. He says in them there are benefits and there's a great sin. I'm questioning you. I say, what is the meaning of fihima?
Inside them.
Thank you. So did God say the thing itself is a great sin, or did he say inside it?
He said inside it.
Thank you. Simple question. Show me where it says wine is haram. Over to you. Show me a verse where it says wine is haram.
Like the same thing God never said marrying the mom of your mom, your grandma is haram. God never said eating kalb is haram. Yeah, God never said all of those types of things.
So he never said wine is haram, right?
No, but wine is haram. We like the difference between me and you is not only Quran that I'm referred to.
Okay, guys, that's the video. I just want you to pay attention to the dialogue. The dialogue is between somebody who follows the Quran and somebody who follows external sources aside the Quran. Listen to the dialogue carefully. When you make a claim about God, you need to prove it from the words of God. Quran chapter 7 verse 33, to say what you do not know about God is forbidden by God. It's haram. Quran chapter 16 verse 116, don't lie with your tongues to say this is halal and this is haram in order to fabricate lies against God. Understand how to contemplate the verses of God and don't go with your emotions and cognitive dissonance to start pointing fingers at people because you have a shallow understanding. Baba Shuaib is only here to aid you to understand what you follow from the verses of God. It is a dialogue between me and him. And I'm showing you, my audience, the stance the mushriks will have, and they cannot prove it from the words of God. Are you getting the point? They cannot prove it from the words of God. They will just exert their veto power from the external source. So at the end of the dialogue, you heard what he said? At the end of the dialogue, he says, oh, me, I'm not only going to refer to the Quran because I have other sources I refer to. Do you get the point? So now let's start over. One by one, listen to the dialogue.
I just came to join, but after that you're talking about alcohol. Is it haram or halal in the Quran?
Yes, salam to you. Yes, brother. Ruin Azizi, salam. So he just thought I was talking about alcohol, and he just came to talk because sectarians haven't been taught how to deal with context in a speech. So they don't know where to start from where to end. So I was putting him in a spot to make him know that he cannot prove it from the words of God. So let's check this. Quran chapter 6, verse 145. So now I quoted Quran chapter 6, verse 145. Everybody has the verse at your houses. And God was clearly showing the prophet what he revealed to him, what he has said it is haram, clearly. So that is why the prophet said, I do not find. So let me go. Quran chapter 6, verse 145. And let's check what God says in the verse. I put it on the screen. And here we go. Okay. Let me take the video down here. So this is the verse. So God says to the messenger, say, Balowal says, we, who are we? He's on his own. He's a mushrik. Yes, brother Hanif, I see you. Peace to you, brother. So say, I do not find in what has been inspired to me any food outlawed upon ingesting it, unless it be a dead animal or blood poured out. So here we are talking about a liquid. It's part of the food altogether, right? Or the meat of pig, for indeed it is filthy, or to be sinfully offered to other than God. But whoever is compelled without desiring nor trespassing, then indeed your Lord is forgiving and merciful. Okay. So this verse is what I started quoting first. Yeah, I see you, King Hassan Mohammed. I see you, my brother. Greetings. So this is the verse I was talking to him about, this verse. So then I followed up with a question to ask him a question. This is the question I asked him. When God says daman masfuha, is it liquid or is it solid? So he's talking about blood poured out. So when the blood is pouring out, at that time we call it flowing blood. So that blood is liquid, right? And liquid, we drink liquid. Okay. Liquid. Thank you. So liquid, do we drink liquid or do we eat liquid?
We drink it.
If we can find something which is liquid in this verse, God says it's forbidden. Because we can find liquid in that verse. We can find blood pouring out in that verse, chapter 6, verse 145. We find it in that verse. So what I'm saying is, God is now clearly telling you drinking blood is haram. Clearly, he's telling you it's haram. Are you getting the point? And clearly, he's telling you dead meat by its own is haram. Sorry. And then he's clearly telling you the meat of pig is haram. Clearly. Let's go ahead. We didn't see in this list where God says alcohol is haram. Because the notion of the word alcohol, kuhul, Arabians call it kuhul. The word Khamr doesn't literally mean alcohol. The word Khamr literally means wine. Not every wine is alcoholic. Listen carefully. Not every wine is alcoholic. So this is where some of you, the Quran alone followers, are confused. When the word Khamr is used, you automatically think it means alcohol. And this is where you lost everything. Because you like to think with your emotions and not your intellect. The word kuhul is alcohol in Arabic. And the word alcohol doesn't literally mean Khamr. And I'll bring you to that point. So here, I was interchanging two words. If you check my translation, you will never find the word alcohol in my translation. It doesn't exist in my translation. For anybody who has access to the Quran, go and check my translation. You are never going to find the word alcohol in my translation. The word khamr mentioned in that context of the Quran is wine. And not every wine is alcoholic. This is what people don't understand. Yes, when we say wine, doesn't automatically mean every wine is alcoholic. So understand this. Yes, thank you very much. I have a new member on YouTube. I appreciate that. Mohammed Hassan, you are welcome. So now listen to the dialogue carefully. When God says avoid alcohol, thank you. So now chapter 5 verse 90, I brought the notion of avoiding alcohol because that is coming from the devil. That is a wine that contains alcohol. That is what God is telling the believers to avoid. And I'll go to the verses so that you understand the explanation. That is when God is talking about that, because the devil wants to refrain you from remembrance of God and also the Salat, the prayer. And that is why chapter 4 verse 43 clearly tells you, do not approach the Salat whilst you are intoxicated. Because that type of Khamr, that type of wine that you are going to drink from the handwork of the devil, that one will intoxicate you. So the idea of the devil is to get you to be intoxicated so that you cannot approach the remembrance of God and the Salat. Are you getting the difference here? But not every Khamr has alcohol inside. That is why Quran chapter 47 verse 15, you are going to drink wine in paradise. Are you getting the point? Yes. That is why God will specifically tell you Khamr is haram. It's not there. That is why correctional officer is teaching you how to reason, for God's sake. You see me doing it to the mushriks. Like, why can't you reason for once? Do you think I'm here to propagate evil on earth? Or do you think God will leave me to go scot-free if I do that? But let's continue. It's different from saying alcohol is haram. Thank you. So correctional officer is only teaching you how to reason with the verses of God. It is different from saying that thing is haram. God never said alcohol is haram in the Quran because you use it for a lot of good. There is a benefit. It is you, the believer, you are not pursuing the sin. You know the benefit of it. You use it for vinegar. You use it for cider. You use it for a disinfectant. You use it for, we call it spirit, mouthwash. We use it for medicine. We use it for perfumes. We use it for cosmetology, cosmetics. We use it for a lot of things. Your soap, you mentioned it. Your body creams, you mentioned them. Your hairsprays and so on. That is alcohol inside. You understand? The word alcohol itself doesn't appear in the Quran. Nowhere did God say alcohol is haram. So I will open the phone lines when I'm done with the explanation. Then I'm going to set the people who are going to call so that to see the naivety of not understanding the words of God in the way that it needs to be understood. Let's continue. If it is haram, you are not supposed to drink it, even in paradise. Thank you. If it's something is haram, let me give you an example. For instance, zina is haram because it's fahisha, right? It's haram. The question is, if it's haram here, is zina also haram in the paradise? Are we going to do zina there? If it's haram here, there's no way it's going to be halal somewhere in heaven. Anything God tells you directly it is haram here, you are not going to take it over there. No. Are you getting my point? The moment God clearly tells you haram, then it's haram. It will not go anywhere. That is why God never clearly said Khamr, wine, is haram, because there are different types of wine. If God should tell you, for instance, music is haram, there will be a problem, because that means every music will be haram, including singing the Quran will be haram. God is talking to intelligent people. Listen to me carefully. If God should say Khamr, wine, is haram, it means even the non-alcoholic wine has to be banned, because that will also be haram. Because the moment God says wine is haram, that means every wine, it doesn't matter whether it's from heaven, whether it's from hell, whether it's from Japan or Saudi Arabia, it will be haram. God is talking to intelligent people. Correctional officer is going to help you to reason. Let's go. Chapter 2, verse 219. It says, they ask you about wine and gambling. Say, there is great sin. It didn't say it is a sin. Listen. So here I'm trying to decipher to show you the difference. God in his infinite wisdom, because the Quran is a book of wisdom. Chapter 36, verse 2. Wal Quran al Hakim. God is showing you how to decipher things. It is the words of God you have to use to pass legislation, not your own words. Listen carefully. So here God is telling you in Quran chapter 2 verse 219, it says in them, it mentioned, they ask you about wine and gambling. Then it says in them, there's a great sin and a benefit. Then you being a believer, God is telling you the sin outweighs the benefits. So you, the believer, is it the sin you are going after? You who is a believer, are you going after the sin? No, you are going after the benefits of it. But let's examine why God didn't say directly it is haram. Let's continue. Listen carefully to the English. Okay, now let's go to the verse you are saying. I want to see where God says alcohol is haram. So this is my challenge to the mushrik, because I wanted to prove him a point that they don't understand the words of God. They are always twisting the words of God. So they will always use their opinions instead of letting the verses of God speak. That was the notion behind the video I did. Let me hide this verse here. Let's go.
God said to the Prophet, Innama harrama rabbiya al-fawahisha ma dhahara minha wa ma batan. And what? Wal ithm. The same word that he has used.
So he quoted chapter 7, verse 33, where God is telling us the things that he has forbidden. And he's telling us, well, ithma. This ithma is talking about deliberate sin, a sin you do intentionally. God has forbidden that. But why is the guy quoting this verse? He's quoting out of context. Let's see why he quoted that.
Over there is the same word that God has used here to show what is haram upon the Prophet. Kul fihima ithmun kabir.
What is the meaning of fihima?
In them.
So this is where I place the emphasis on in them. It is in them that you can find the sin. It's not the thing itself which is a sin. Listen carefully. The wine itself is not a sin. The gambling itself is not a sin. But the inside, because there are sometimes that it can become a sin when it is done in that fashion. For instance, we have American lotteries, Visa lotteries. We have raffles. We have bonanzas. We have rewards, coupons that you win. These are all classified under this kind of game of chance. But not all of them can be classified haram. This is what you don't understand. You tell your daughter, you tell your son, if you pass these exams, I'm going to buy you a car. Then they are like, oh, bets, really? I'm going to get a car? Oh, wow, I'll make sure daddy, let's bet. You make a bet. Like the mushriks will tell you betting is haram. Since when? Where does it say betting is haram? Where? Where does it say betting is haram? Where? Anyway, so now, in that classification, then we come again to the Khamr. We are talking about wine. You, the believer, you know there's a different types of wine. You can have wine where it has been distilled. So they removed the alcohol out of the wine. That is why the proper literal classical meaning of the word Khamr is wine, not alcohol. Listen carefully. Not every wine has alcohol inside. Are you getting my point? Okay, let's continue. Did he say inside them, or did he say they are great sin?
No, that's the same.
They are not. Now he says that's the same. That's not the same. If I say something is inside, something is different from saying that thing itself. So they are not the same. And God chooses his words carefully. Quran chapter 10 verse 82. God will enforce the truth with his words, even if the criminals dislike it. So many times what people don't pay attention is they don't allow God to speak. They want to override the words of God with their own words. Oh, but God didn't say directly it is haram, but it is haram. What? No, who gives legislation? The last time I checked, Quran chapter 42 verse 21. Am lahum shuraka usharahu lahum min ad-din ma lam ya'zanu bihi Allah. Do they have idols who have legislated for them of a religion to which God has not authorized? So it is about people's feelings and people's giving their judgments instead of God. Let's continue. The same thing. I don't know which teacher taught you, but that teacher didn't teach you well. If I say fihima is not the same as saying that thing itself. For instance, you know knife, right?
I know knife.
Can it be used to cut meat?
Yes.
But can it be used to terminate somebody also?
Yeah, that's right.
So the knife, is it haram?
Knife is not haram, but it might be haram depending on the intention that you keep while holding that knife.
Thank you. So using the analogy of the knife was just to get his brain to relax and understand the notion of why God didn't say directly something is haram. You are a human being. God gave you intellect. Quran chapter 91, verse 7 to verse 10. He inspired you with what is good and what is bad, so that you know evil and you know what is good. You understand? So that you can know, okay, I don't need to go here. I don't need to do this. I need to avoid that. I need to do this and that. Are you getting the point? But there's a time for benefits that you can get from that same thing. Understand what God is saying here. So now let's go back to chapter 2, verse 219. God is talking to intelligent people. So this is where I brought the notion of intelligence. God is talking to intelligent people. So this is what I asked the guy to do. Please reason with me. I want us to use intelligence here. So now I was appealing with him to reason with me. I want us to use our intelligence here. Pay close attention. God says in them. He didn't say those things are haram. He says in them. When God told the prophet in Quran chapter 2 verse 219, when they ask you about wine and gambling, God will have said, tell them they are haram. Ladies and gentlemen, if I'm lying, tell me I'm lying. If God wanted to say haram directly, he will have said, when they ask you about wine and gambling, tell the believers they are both haram. True or false? Ladies and gentlemen, if God wants to specifically say directly it is haram, God will have said, when they ask you about wine and gambling, tell them they are haram. There's no ifs, there's no buts. Straight. That's the way God would tell you. Are you getting the point? But let's continue. There are benefits and there's a great sin. If there are no benefits, why will God bring it in his book? Why will God tell you about the benefits? Quran chapter 16 verse 67 clearly tells you from the fruits that we are getting, we squeeze, we get what? Intoxicants and good sustenance. This is what God told you. And let me put on the screen. Chapter 16 verse 67. Here. In chapter 16 verse 67, God says, and from the fruits of date palms and grapes, you take intoxicants therefrom and good sustenance. There is a sign in that for people who reason. God is talking to intelligent people, not fools. Listen carefully. God calls this book, the Quran, Kitabul Mubin, Quran and Mubin. Go to Quran chapter 27, verse 1. If God wants to make something clear, he will make it clear, explicit. I'm not joking with you. If you want to say something is haram, he will tell you directly it's haram. Don't worry. I'll be going to chapter 5, verse 90 to 91 to show you what people are missing there. And from the fruits of date palms and grapes, you take intoxicant therefrom and good sustenance. Indeed, there is a sign in that for people who reason. Okay. Let's go back to the video. I'm questioning you. I say, what is the meaning of fihima?
Inside them.
Thank you. So did God say the thing itself is a great sin, or did he say inside it?
He said inside it.
Thank you. Simple question. Do you see how he was following my lane of questions and giving the answers? Because I told him, let's use reasoning, let's use logic, let's use intelligence here. Reason with me. He was reasoning, right? Okay, let's check. Show me where it says wine is haram. So now my simple question. Show me, and to any Quran alone follower who is out there saying it is haram, come and show me where God says it is haram. Don't go and quote chapter 5 verse 90 to me. You'll be a fool because you are misunderstanding the verse. Come and show me where it says it is haram. Just come. If it is haram, my question to you is, why will you drink wine in paradise? Why? Does that mean on earth, if zina is haram, I'm going to do zina in heaven also? Because it's haram here, right? So does that mean I'm going to do zina there? Does that mean if stealing is haram here, so I'm going to do stealing up there also? Or how does your logic work? And I'm going to show you why people misunderstand the verses of God. Let's continue. What you show me a verse where it says wine is haram.
Like the same thing God never say marrying your.
So here, when I ask him, let's use logic, you see, now he's trying to counter my statement, my question to him. Then he says, like the same thing God never said, you should not marry the mother of your something, grandmother, something.
The mom of your mom, your grandma is haram. God never said eating kalb is haram. Yeah, God never said all of those types of things.
So he never said wine is haram, right?
No, but wine is haram. We like the difference.
Ladies and gentlemen, that this is why factory reset is needed for the mushriks and the people in general. After all this hula balu we've gone through, then I ask him a simple question. So wine, he never said wine is haram, right? Then he says no. Then he says, but it is haram.
Said all of those types of things.
So he never said wine is haram, right?
No, but wine is haram.
Dealing with the mushriks is the most difficult thing you can ever do. Their brain is wired differently. I'm serious. The mushrik's psychology works in a way that you can ask him, are you married or single? He can say, I'm not married. Then after 2 minutes, he will tell you, I'm married. That is how the brain of mushriks work, right? So they can say yes right now and say no in the next minute, the same thing. So what Baba Shrab is doing is, I'm using these videos to show you something, the way the brain of mushriks work. That is the idea of my videos. My videos is not there to cause you confusion. Hey, Baba, what are you trying to say? Are you trying to say this is hey?
We like the difference between me and you is not only Quran that I'm referred to.
So here he made the argument simple. He said the difference between me and you is not the Quran only I refer to. Because the idea of the argument to get him to prove his case from the Quran. That was the idea of the argument. Get the mushrik to prove his argument in the Quran. They can't. So he ended up surrendering and saying he doesn't always depend on the Quran. He has to depend on an external source to pass on his judgment. That was the idea of the video. Anyways, let's give a breakdown. So now let's go in depth in the Quran to see something. Yes, hula balu. I said hula balu. Yes. So when we say hula balu, Yes. Yeah. We are talking about disturbance usually in a protest, right? Out of excitement, somebody will just be, disturbing back and forth with his hula baloo and so on. Anyways, now let me go into the verses to give you a breakdown, right? So first of all, let's start with Quran chapter 12, verse 36, chapter of Joseph, chapter 12, verse 36. So in Quran chapter 12, verse 36, this is what happened concerning the wine, right? Concerning wine, not alcohol. The word Khamr means, in the classical Arabic, it means wine, not alcohol. Okay. The literal word for alcohol is kuhul in Arabic, or muskir. Huh? So here, let's go here. So in Quran chapter 12, verse 36, this is what happened when Joseph was in the prison. And two young men entered the prison with him. One of them said, "Indeed, I have seen myself squeezing wine," that is, squeezing the fruits, the grapes, and so on. Squeezing wine. And the other one said, "Indeed, I have seen myself carrying bread above my head, from which birds were eaten. Inform us of its interpretation. Indeed, we see you are of the benevolent." That is talking to Joseph, right? So now here, this is where wine is mentioned, right? You see the word Khamr is mentioned here, wine. Khamr. You see, squeezing wine, right? Okay. So now, we go to verse 41 also, and it's mentioned there. This is where Joseph gave the interpretation, right? So here he says, "Oh, my two prison mates, as for one of you, he will then give drink of wine to his master. But as for the other one, thus he will be crucified, and the birds will eat from his head. The matter regarding which you both sought for my legal opinion has been decided." You see, that is when, again, Khamra, wine, has been mentioned. Wine. Okay. Now, here in these verses, nowhere did Joseph told the other person who is going to serve his master, nowhere does he tell him this thing is haram. Are you getting the point? Nowhere did Joseph told him this thing you are going to do, or this job is haram, or this thing you are going to serve your master is haram. Nowhere. Throughout chapter 12. Nowhere. And remember, Quran chapter 12, verse 2, God says it is the Quran he has revealed in the Arabic language so that what? You will reason. Right? You will reason. Okay. Now let's go to the next verse. I already took you to chapter 16, verse 67. Now, what I want to show you is, now let's go to chapter 5, verse 90 to 91. In chapter 5, verse 90 to 91, I'm going to show you something. Pay close attention to this verse. Chapter 5, verse 90 to 91. "O you who have believed," God is talking to the believers. Then he mentioned the Khamr, the wine. Then he mentioned gambling. Then he mentioned idols. Then he mentioned divination arrows. Then he says, "are only filled from the work of the devil." Then he says, "so avoid such." Here, fajtanibuhu. Here is talking to the believers. And there's a reason why he mentioned the believers, and I want to show you the reason why. So here, he mentioned the believers because Salat has been what? Ordained for the believers. Salat. Now, let's see why God specifically mentioned the gambling and the wine, and why God says avoid such. But avoiding such, see what I've underlined here. I underlined Amali Shaitan. What you as a believer need to avoid is the handwork of the devil, or the work of the devil. If evidentially, we are going to say generally that wine in general, is coming from the handwork of the devil. Then what is the handwork of the devil doing in the paradise? Chapter 47, verse 15. Here. Chapter 47, verse 15. I'll come back to this verse. I want to show you something. If we are going to say in general, the wine is the handwork of the devil entirely. Chapter 47, verse 15, this is what God says. The example of the garden which has been promised to the pious is, therein are rivers of uncontaminated water, rivers of milk whose taste does not change, rivers of wine, Khamr, you see Khamr here, delicious for the drinkers, and rivers of purified honey, and they will have all fruits therein, as well as forgiveness from their Lord. Is it like he who will be in fire eternally and will be made to drink magma as water, and it will sever their intestines? Ladies and gentlemen, pay close attention. We are on earth. We drink water, right? Water is not haram. Is water haram? The water is not haram, right? We are on earth. We drink milk. Is milk haram? Milk is not haram, right? We are still going to drink it in paradise. We are on earth. It mentions wine. When you check my translation, you see me underlining wine. Okay, we are going to go to that. Now, people are saying wine is haram. When I'm clearly telling you, as a believer, you know there are different types of wine. There is the alcoholic wine and there's the non-alcoholic wine. The non-alcoholic wine is not haram. The alcoholic wine is what God is telling you, the believer, to avoid. And I'm going to show you the reason why. So, delicious for the drinkers and rivers of purified honey. We drink honey on earth. It is halal, right? Not haram. So we can see honey, we can see milk, and we can see water. We drink all of this on earth. They are not haram, right? Why specifically people are placing emphasis on wine? That is why God mentioned Amali Shaitan. So we are going to see. Let's go back. Chapter 5, verse 90. In Quran chapter 5, verse 90, this is what God says. O you who have believed, wine, gambling, idols, and divination are only filth from the work of the devil. So when it's coming from the work of the devil, you have to avoid it. So God says, so avoid such so that you may succeed. The reason is, verse 91, the devil only intends to inflict antagonism and hatred between you through wine and gambling. And we can see that usually. Go to every casino. Go to every place where they sell wine and there's gambling. What happens? You see fights broken down. You see hatred going on. Or when there's a fight between people and they have drunk, you see the damage they cause each other. When people are playing gambling, you see the damage they can do each other when there's wine and alcohol and this thing involved. Okay. Then God is now telling you why the devil will use these things to cause a problem. Now here, and to repel you from the remembrance of God and from the litany. So will you refrain? So here, it is the intoxicated wine we are talking about. How do you understand that? Go and read Quran chapter 4, verse 43. So it is because of that God told the believers this. He told the believers, he said here, O you who believe, do not approach the Salat while you are intoxicated until you know what you are saying. Because the type of wine the devil is going to give you is the one which can cause you to be intoxicated. So the devil wants to use that type of wine to intoxicate you. That is the alcoholic wine, not the non-alcoholic wine. The alcoholic wine is to get you intoxicated so that you will not even approach the Salat. Because according to God, do not approach the Salat whilst you are intoxicated. So the devil's strategy is to get you from the work of his own hand, to get you to go for the alcoholic wine when you drink it, so that you will not be able to approach the Salat. Because when you are drunk, intoxicated, you can't go for Salat. It's not possible anymore. Because God will tell you, no, don't come for it when you are intoxicated. And again, if it was directly haram, why will a believer be intoxicated when God is telling a believer, oh, you who believe, do not approach the salat while you are intoxicated? Of course, being intoxicated is not only about wine, because being intoxicated can also come from medicine, can also come from your sleep. The evidence of that is found in the Quran. There is even the intoxication of death. We call it sakar al-maut, right? Okay. So now God is talking to the believers and he's telling them, while you are intoxicated, until you know what you're saying, this is the alcoholic wine. And that is why in paradise we are going to drink wine, but it is non-alcoholic. Understand the difference here. So the agenda of the devil is to get you to drink the wine that comes from the handwork of the devil. It doesn't mean entirely every wine you see is made from the work of the devil. No. When it's coming from the work of the devil, that is the intoxication, the one which contains intoxicant inside, like meaning alcoholic wine. Then there is the non-alcoholic wine. Are you getting my point here? Okay. So God clearly tells the believers, do not approach the salat while you are intoxicated. Meaning, if you have taken the alcoholic wine, then the devil has already gotten you. So you cannot approach the salat. So the purpose of that for the devil, chapter 5, verse 90 to 91. Let's check. And I'm going to read up to 93 so that you get the clarity from those verses when people quote the verses out of context. All you who believe, wine, gambling, idols, and divination arrows are only filled from the work of the devil. So when it's coming from the work of the devil, avoid such. Fajtanibuhu. That is why it's used a singular pronoun. Who? It means singular. Fajtanibuhu means avoid the work of the devil. It didn't say fajtanibu ha or huma or something in such in plural form. It mentioned fajtanibuhu in a singular form. So avoid it or avoid such, meaning avoid the work of the devil. The reason is, then 91, the devil only intends to inflict antagonism and hatred between you through wine and gambling. Which type of wine? Alcoholic wine. And to repel you from the remembrance of God and from the salat. So will you refrain? So I need to refrain from the one which comes from the work of the devil. I need to refrain from it. Now let's continue. When you continue the verses up to 93, I'm going to show you something. God says, so obey God and obey the messenger and be careful. Being careful is very important. Now, why will God mention and be careful? Because I have to be careful what I'm approaching. Just as you are going to eat meat, you are careful. You are asking whether it's halal or haram, whether it is slaughtered or not slaughtered. Same thing, somebody is offering you wine, you can ask, is it alcoholic or non-alcoholic? You have to be careful. But if you turn away, then know that only the clear notification is upon our messenger. Then 93, there is no blame on those who believe and do good deeds concerning what they have tasted, so long as they reference, believe, and do good deeds, then become pious, and believe, then become pious, and do well, and God loves those who are benevolent. Do you see what 93 is talking about? There is no blame on those who believe and do good deeds concerning what they have tasted. As long as, or so long as they reference, believe, and do good deeds, then become pious, and believe, then become pious, and do well, and God loves those who are benevolent. So when you check through the verses, God wants you to use your intelligence to decipher things. This is why you will never find a direct statement in the Quran telling you wine is haram or alcohol is haram, because a believer knows how to decipher and know the benefit of what he is looking for. He will not follow the path of wrong or to lead himself in deception or distraction. You understand? So this is why God brought the suggestion. Will you then refrain? Because you have to decipher and know the difference. The wine which comes from the work of the devil, avoid it if you are a believer. That is why God says, avoid such. It is the work of the devil you have to avoid. That's why God never directly said, Khamr is haram. That is what people don't understand here. So when we are saying God didn't say directly, it is the implication of examining. That is why I brought the example of the knife to the caller, to show him that the knife, is it haram? No. But the same knife, if I use it to terminate somebody at that given time, that knife will become haram. You get the point? Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, let me allow phone calls, right? People can phone in, call, ask your questions, get clarity on any issue that you don't understand. Let me go here. I'm going to send the invitation. You can join as a guest. I put it in the comment section here. You can join as a guest. You're welcome. For those on Facebook, YouTube, you can join as a guest. You're welcome. And for those who want to call, direct call on the correctional officer's number, you can call me directly. Give me a call. Let me see. Why can't I post? Okay. Yeah. You can call as a guest, join. For those watching from TikTok, for those watching from YouTube, and then Facebook. For those on Facebook, you can, yes, thank you very much. Is it Kwalagami? Yeah, is it Kyola Gaming? Okay, sorry, I nearly pronounced your name in a different way. Anyways, let me put it on Facebook. For those who want to join, thank you for all those who send me the super chats, the gifts on TikTok. Thank you. I appreciate all of you, brother Hanif. I appreciate all of you, sister. We have Aya. Yeah, Aya, thank you. I see you, the boss Qbed. I see you. Greetings to you, bro. Just stopping by. Hope you're doing well. Yes, thank you, bro. Sin the lone wolf. Yes, greetings to you. Thank you. The real Mishizi sniper says, thank you, brother Shai, for another excellent. And may God reward you. Thank you. I appreciate that. God bless you. You can also ask me question in the comment section. I can come to that. Right? You can ask me a question. I can come to that. You can call as a guest. You can write your question and you can join as a guest, right? You're welcome to join also as a guest. Yeah. Yes. Your point is valid. And this is why, as for a believer, it is left to your own discretion to actually try to stay away from something. That is why Quran chapter 5, verse 93 clearly gives the notion of what a believer is supposed to be cautious of. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you. Tiso one. Thank you. This kind of question, I'll prefer if you call me to ask this kind of question. I don't know why this kind of question is coming to me. It says, Bush, do you believe you are greater than the prophet since you can explain Quran, but the prophet can't according to you? Where did I, according to me, where? Please, I would love for you, this kind of question, I would love for you to call on my program, right? Guys, you can write the correctional officer's number here. Write it down there so people can join. +358 466 803144. Write it. I would love people like this to call me. Call me. I want to hear your voice whilst you are asking me this kind of question. Yes. Yes, thank you, JS. Thank you for this thing. Guys, I left the link. If you want to join as a guest, you're welcome. That is the link. If you're joining as a guest, you can join. If you want to call, also you can call my WhatsApp line. Somebody's asking, what about, he says, how about smoking, Baba? Smoking. First of all, when somebody smokes, the first question the person needs to ask himself is, what's the benefit of the smoking? Does it lead you to death or does it lead you to health? Because according to God, you don't need to kill yourselves. You don't need to terminate yourselves. You understand? You don't have to throw yourself into your own destruction by your own hands. So the first question, if you are smoking, you need to ask yourself is this leading me to deception, destruction, or is it leading me to health? Right? So as an intelligent person, if you know the smoking is leading you to your destruction, then yeah, it's better you advise yourself because God says don't kill yourselves. Yeah, there's no issue with that. And that is why this guy says, I drink beer. This guy, his name, Asim Al Hakim. I have the video. Let me put the video. Mr. I drink beer. So, based on the question you are asking, let me put this guy's video here. Asim Al Hakim. This guy.
I drink beer, and I'm proud of that. But the beer I drink, before you quote me for that, is from Saudi Arabia, and it has like 2%, maybe 3% alcohol. And it's legal, and it's halal. One says, oh, it has alcohol. Akhi, if I drink half a pack, nothing happens. I drink beer, and I'm proud of that.
God have mercy upon us.
This video is timeless. It will never grow old. I'm serious.
I drink beer, and I'm proud of that. But the beer I drink, before you quote me for that, is from Saudi Arabia, and it has like 2%, maybe 3% alcohol. And it's legal, and it's halal. One says, oh, it has alcohol. Akhi, if I drink half a pack,
Nothing happens.
nothing happens. I drink beer, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah, Sana. Sana, please don't say it. The Mushriks are watching you. They will think you are drinking beer. So I drink beer and I'm proud of it. That is Asim Al Hakim. He came out to just confess and but it was already the truth. This thing he said, Wallahi lazim, he drinks beer. It's not a joke. Look, he drinks beer. The scholars, the top guys, US, they drink beer, but the percentage is low, not high. It doesn't get you drunk. It doesn't, But let me show you the second video he came out to confess, and he said he made a mistake by coming with that video. So this is the second video.
However, this is not our question. Did you, Sheikh Asim, say 2% to 3% in a drink is permissible because it does not waste? Yes, I did. Do you still stand by this? No, I don't.
God have mercy upon us.
Hey, he's going to give his excuse. Listen to the excuse.
What do you mean? Akhi, when I talk about Islamic issues, I don't talk from my own self. I'm not a scholar. I don't come up and think, yeah, I think this is halal, this is haram.
Can you hear the nonsense this guy is spewing? He's out here to give you the reason why what he said before was a mistake. It's not a mistake. Wallahi lazim. I'm not joking. He drinks beer. It's not a joke. He's a Salaf. The scholars gave him pressure. That's why he came out to confess and act like, no, what I said was a mistake. Look, I'm telling you for a fact. Listen to the justification, the reason he's going to give. And I'm going to show you why these guys are fooling you guys out there. Wallahi, he drinks beer. Wallahi, wallahi. I'm not joking. Asim al-Hakim, even till today, he drinks beer. I'm not joking with you. Look, when he came out to say, I'm proud of it, it tells you he's a real drunkard. Not like a drunkard in terms of booze, but it tells you he's a professional drinker. This is you listen to the first one. Listen to the first one he said. Listen. Pay attention.
I drink beer, and I'm proud of that. But the beer I drink, before you quote me for that, is from Saudi Arabia, and it has like 2%, maybe 3% alcohol. And it's legal, and it's halal. One says, oh, it has alcohol. Akhi, if I drink half a pack, nothing happens. I drink beer, and I'm...
Does this sound like somebody talking from mistake? Now, ladies and gentlemen, listen carefully. Does this sound like this guy was talking out of mistake or ignorance? No, just be honest with yourself. Does this sound like somebody talking out of mistake or a slipper of a tongue? And the funny part is, he says he's from Saudi Arabia. It's halal. This guy has set a record. He's the best mushrik ever. He's my favorite mushrik, by the way. I love this guy too much. What is it? And it's halal, and it's from Saudi Arabia. How can this statement be a mistake? Then he is coming to confess. Listen to the second video. There's no way you can take this guy serious. You watch the second video. Listen what he said.
I drink beer, and I'm proud of that.
The second video, sorry. The second video is this one.
However, this is not our question. Did you, Sheikh Asim, say 2% to 3% in a drink is permissible because it does not waste? Yes, I did.
He said that, right? He said, yes, I did. Do you still stand by it? Because the scholars gave him pressure. If he doesn't retract, he's embarrassing. Look, he just exposed all the scholars because they all drink 2%, 3%. It is not a joke. Look, forget about I'm laughing. It's not a joke. They drink 2% and 3%. I'm serious. Let's continue.
Do you still stand by this? No, I don't. What do you mean? Akhi, when I talk about Islamic issues, I don't talk from my own self. I'm not a scholar.
Can you listen to this bozo? Guys, listen to this bozo. When he talk about Islamic matters, this guy for consult session, if you call him and you want a counseling session, he charges $150 for, is it 30 minutes or 1 hour session? This guy, he said he's not a scholar. He said he is not a scholar. Then why is this clown always sitting in his videos, takfiring people? Hey, hey, this bujirik, Allah, this bozo. He said, Akhi, when I talk about Islamic math, I'm not a scholar. Hey, you are a scholar. Why are you talking to people about Islam? Hey. Yes. Bye, Zavado. These bozos, and they are being taken seriously. Seriously. People take them serious for this clown act. Sana says they preach by their own words, not that. Yeah, of course, they use their own whims and desires. It's a real bozo. The boss says, Dr. Boss says, maybe you caught him on his beer drinking, obviously. See, he's just here to to clear the image of the Saudis and, but listen.
I don't come up and think, yeah, I think this is halal, this is haram.
But that is what you just did. You came out to say you drink beer and you are proud of it. Hey, now he's not proud anymore. Because that's how they be misleading people, right? So like I gave in my lecture, we have alcoholic wine and then we have non-alcoholic wine, right? Right. Myself, I drink non-alcoholic wine. Yes, I drink wine, but non-alcoholic. I drink wine, non-alcoholic. Anyways, let's go. So somebody is saying something. Let me see. What is this person saying? I was trying to read the comments. It said what? Guys, I say call. If you have anything to say, call. What is this person talking about? BC Warrior, what are you talking about? When did I say alcohol is mentioned in the Quran? He says, correctional officer, I follow your lectures because you are right about most part. But I have to let you know that the word alcohol is not used in the Quran. When did I say the word alcohol is used in the Quran? I don't think you were here in the beginning listening to whatever I was saying. Or you just want to comment for commenting's sake. It says the prohibition is for wine only. Where does it even say wine is haram? Where does it say that in the Quran? So I don't think you were here from the beginning. You are not paying attention. This guy, can you call? Can you call direct? Call me directly. Somebody try calling, right? Let me see. Who is that? Call me. I prefer people call instead of just asking me certain questions in the comment section. Yeah, salam.
Salam, Baba.
Yes, wa salam, my
Oh, this
brother.
is Prince Girma. I was trying to put the number when you said to put the number in the comment section.
Ah, okay. You were trying to copy my number and okay, yeah, sure. I understand. Yeah, you don't. If you don't have any question, no problem. You can keep on watching. Then, thank you. Yeah. So it was a mistake call when he called by mistake. Stop wasting time. Now, this guy, Radamel, he says, stop wasting time laughing at others and educate us for the sake of Allah. How do you view yourself in Kiyama? Will you be proud calling people bozo? Do you understand the meaning of bozo? It means incompetent fool. According to God, Quran chapter 25, verse 44, do you think that most of them listen or reason? God says they are just like livestock. And he says even they are more astray than the livestock. God calls people in the Quran who are not using their intellect fools. Quran chapter 2 verse 130, God says, وَمَنْ يَرْغَبُ أَنْ مِلَّةَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ إِلَّا مَنْ سَفِهَ نَفْسَهُ. Who will desire other than the creed of Ibrahim, if not one who fools himself? If I see a fool fooling, what name should I call him? It's a fool. Yeah? So when I call these fools bozos, that is what it means. Go and check the meaning of bozo, incompetent fool. Yes. So if somebody is foolish, call him a fool. Simple. So when I'm calling them bozos, don't think I'm just giving them nicknames. It means fools. They are fools. They are fooling. Correctional officer, I tell you, if you are emotional, stay away from my page because I will hurt your feelings. I'm serious. The truth doesn't care about your ego, your this thing. I will hurt your feelings because I say things the way they are and I can justify everything I say. I dare people like you to call me. Give me a voice call. Then I can hear your voice shaking whilst you're talking to me. This is how I want people like you to talk to me. Comment section, don't feel like you have power when you're in the comment section typing nonsense, right? If you are emotional, go and watch some cartoons or some comedy. Go. Stay away from my page if you are emotional, right? Can we conclude in this discussion that haram and avoid has the same meaning? Haram and avoid has the same meaning. It depends. Still, avoid and haram, it depends. If I tell you avoid this lady, doesn't mean the lady is forbidden. I can say avoid her, but it doesn't mean she is forbidden. Avoid this tree doesn't mean the tree is haram. Avoid it doesn't mean it is haram. So avoid and haram are not the same. Saying the same meaning, there's a problem, right? Yeah, so this is yeah. What am I missing again? Yeah, Shamim Ahmed, salam to you. Let me see. Yes, Sadir Maza says there is wine with alcohol and one without alcohol. Yeah, that's true. We have wine which is non-alcoholic wine, right? Yes, hello Iske, you're welcome. Greetings to you. Let's continue. Non-alcoholic wine is only about 200 years old. It is a new invention in scheme of things. No, we only discovered that in our time. Doesn't mean it hasn't been done before. Yes. It's not something new. We found it in our time. Doesn't mean it is something new. Right? It is only in our time we have discovered how to make that. I'm talking about alcohol. Okay. Watch a mushrik clip that. The word, okay. In Lisan in al-Arab only means veil, conceal, cover. The Sunnis added the word intellect so they could add alcohol to, yeah. Some of the meanings were added later. In the classical Arabic dictionaries, it doesn't mean alcohol, right? This guy is obviously a Sunni. This guy, Radamel. I said, can you call? My number is +358-466-803144. That is my correctional officer number. +358-466-803144. Can you call? Give me a call, please. Give me a call on a WhatsApp call. Yes, he's afraid to use the phone. I don't understand. The mushriks, they don't have the capacity to talk to Baba Shrike, or they are scared to trend. Because I've vowed I'll make you the mushrik's trend. Yes, I will use you on my page to trend. Yes, I'll make you famous. If you analyze the work Khamr, you will see it used in the story of Nazareth Yusuf. Okay. Cholesterol itself contains alcohol molecules. Yes, like donkeys carrying books. I have that for you. God may call them, but the standard of messenger provide not to make mockery. There is no making mockery, BC warrior. Everything I say is justified from the words of God. If God calls people fools, I call them fools also, because I'm following the book of guidance. So what the book calls them is what I call them. For instance, God calls some people livestock. I can call them livestock also because I'm getting it from the book. So Quran chapter 4 verse 58 tells you to judge. When you are judging among the people, judge with justice. So I'm using the book of God to judge. So if God says somebody is a livestock, ladies and gentlemen, if God says somebody is a livestock, if I say the person is a livestock, what wrong have I done? See me see trouble. If somebody does something funny, can't I laugh? When we say mocking, if I'm mocking Hasim al-Hakim, then I can say, look at his beard. His beard look like a monkey. He looks like a, that is when I'm mocking him personally. That is haram. That is the one God says, don't do that. Are you getting my point? But not when the person says something and it's ridiculous. You tell me don't laugh. Go to the Quran, go and check. When the angels told the wife of Abraham she's going to have a son, what was she doing? She was laughing at what they said, right? She laughed at it. So you can laugh at somebody's statement. When the ant told the other ants, go inside, Suleiman is bringing his soldiers to crush you. What did Suleiman do? He laughed at the ant, right? He laughed at her statement. So if somebody says something stupid or funny, I can laugh. There's nothing wrong. Hey, why are these people emotional? Please, I keep saying, if you are emotional, don't watch Baba Shrine. I'm not begging you to come and watch me if you are emotional. And when I check, it's not even the women complaining, it's the men, the emotional. Why are some of the men so emotional like this? I expect the women to be emotional like this, but they are not even complaining that sense. It's always the men. When I see any emotional comment, I will see a man. Why? Let's continue. Salam, how do I start telling my kids we have been brainwashed by our scholars and we have to start over relearn? Let's unlearn and relearn. That's how you start with your kids. Unlearn and relearn. Unlearn and relearn. Unlearn and relearn. Yes. Khamr is shaking. Call in. Yeah, I'll be going to TikTok. I'll stay on TikTok for a bit, right? I'll be on TikTok for like 2 hours. So if you are here, be rest assured I'm coming to TikTok. I'll be giving the mushrik some chance to join me, right? And the people who have issues concerning wine and alcohol, you're welcome. Ask me. Let's continue, right? But we need to check the verse in Hazrat Yusuf and clearly, okay? What? Men are very emotional. Yes. Men can be very emotional also. Yeah. But mostly men are very emotional. They don't want to talk. When they talk, you see monsters out there. I'm only giving an opinion. Oh, BC Warrior, please. Baba Tribe doesn't need your opinion, for God's sake. Look, if you have watched me for, I don't know if you watched me for long. Maybe you started watching me. I don't need your opinion. It's either you can convince me with the word of God that what I'm doing is wrong or right. I'm okay with it. Opinions, look, everybody in this list, comment list, everybody has an opinion. I'm serious. Look, if I should ask everybody right now about their opinion, this cap, should I take it off? Some people will say yes, take it off. Some people will say yes, keep it on. Leave it, don't take it. Opinions are just like shoes. We all have it. Please, it's not about your opinion. Put your opinion aside. Right? What I'm doing, if it's wrong or right, if you can use the words of God to convince me, I surrender. Right? If you're having a different understanding, fine, that's up to you. But please, I keep telling people, correctional officers page is not for emotional people. If you are emotional based on some of my actions, okay, overlook it. You are here to find to take your knowledge and go, right? Deal with the knowledge. Forget about the way I act, please. Let's continue. Because in the modern day age, they think it's disrespectful to call out the truth, and they think, yeah. In the modern day age, yes. Speaking the truth is deemed as disrespectful. Yes, that's how it is. This modern day. Imam Abu Hanifa says drinking beer is okay as long as you don't get drunk. Last cup is haram, it seems. Yes, their scholars even agree to that. That's why Asim Al Hakim says, I drink beer. Baba, explain 17:1. Does it talk about Moses or Muhammad? It talks about Moses. Let me show you why it talks about Moses. Quran chapter 17, verse 1, right? I'm going to show you something. Chapter 17, verse 1 is talking about Moses. So, normally when you take the Quran, when a verse is starting in the beginning and it's talking to Prophet Muhammad, there's a way God talks. God will say, for example, Inna atayna kal kawsar. Or God will say, Alam tara kayfa fa'ala rabbuka bi ashabil fi. Alam tara, talking to the Prophet. Or it will say, what other verse chapters can I give an example? When it's talking to the Prophet, it will make a reference to the Prophet direct. But let's take chapter 17, verse 1. It says, Subhanallazi asra bi abdihi laylan min al-masjid al-harami ila al-masjid al-aqsa allazi barakna hawlahu linuriyahu min ayatina innahu huwa as-sami'ul basir. In this verse, when you read the context up to verse 7, the second verse is talking وَآتَيْنَا مُوسَى الْكِتَابَ. It is Moses being talked about. Why? Because the story is being told to Prophet Muhammad concerning Bani Israel. And Moses being talked about to Muhammad, God says, Subhanallazi asra bi abdihi, his servant. If it was talking to Prophet Muhammad, he says, Subhanallazi, glory be to the one who traveled with you. Bika, who traveled with you. He will tell the Prophet, who traveled with you in the night from the Masjid al-Haram to the farthest masjid. This is how God will talk. And God has shown us several examples in the Quran if he's talking to the Prophet. Right? That's why it talks about Inna Atainaka al-Kawsar. And then he will mention you. So to let the Prophet know, I'm talking to you. So chapter 17, verse 1 is about Moses. Read the context up to verse 7. You see, he's talking about children of Israel. Moses. That's all. Let's continue. Guys, I'm 2 hours, 30 minutes into the program. I'll be bringing the topic to an end so that I continue on TikTok, right? So if you're watching, if you have a TikTok account, kindly join me there, inshallah. We have Yes, greetings to you, Mom. I know you are watching. Unfortunately, I cannot. Okay, when you see the silent anchor, it's me. Okay. Yeah, I see your comments. Yes, I see you. Thank you. I appreciate that. God bless you, Mom. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be going to TikTok. If you have a TikTok account, kindly join me in there. It's 2 hours, 30 minutes into the program. Thank you very much. Let me see. Somebody says, what about chapter 18, verse 1? Chapter 18, verse 1, Suratul Kaf. So he says, praise be to God who has revealed the book to his servant and has not made it crooked, valuable to one of severe torment from him, and give good news to the believers who do good deeds, that they will have a good reward, remaining therein forever. And to warn those who say God has taken a son, they have no knowledge about it, nor had their fathers a grave word coming out of their mouths. They only say a lie. And perhaps you will get rid of yourself over their provocation. The first message from verse 1 to verse 5 is a message allocated to the people of the book. For those who are saying that God has a son. So that is a message to them from verse 1 to verse 5. Then verse 6 took over by now referring to the prophet direct. And he says, perhaps you will get rid of yourself over their provocation, because they've been provoking him, right, with sorrow, if they do not believe in this discourse. This hadith God gave him, verse 1 to verse 5, is now allocated to the people of the book who say God has a son, right? Ladies and gentlemen, I need to end this live stream and jump to TikTok, right? So if you're here, bear with me and we continue on this, God willing. I'm going to TikTok. You can join me there. Let's continue. BC Warrior, I did that. I spoke about the Khamr in chapter 12. I did that already in the video. Please kindly watch this video in a playback. Go back and watch the video. Start from 1 hour, 30 minutes onwards. You will see where I explained that part. So watch the video again. When I end this live stream, rewatch the program. You see I spoke about that. So don't worry. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for being present. I appreciate the support. I appreciate those who send the super chat, those who send the gift on TikTok. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for the comments, the questions. Thank you for everything. I appreciate you. It's a motivation for me to keep going. We appreciate the support you guys give. It's amazing, right? We will do our efforts to help you guys. Let's learn together. Let's study together. Let's reflect on what the verses entail. Chapter 2, verse 245. Please explain, Baba. Did people really die according to the verse? I will watch it. Thank you. I'll be going to TikTok. I'll talk about that. So join me on TikTok if you have a TikTok account. Then we talk about that. Nara Power, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Bilal Jibril, my brother, I see you. Thank you. Thank you, Umar Satao. Thank you, all of you. I'll be, I think in my next lecture, I'll be showing the pictures of people I met in Ghana, the people who received the Quran, people I met, some of my pictures and the things that I encountered in Ghana. So in my next lecture, I'm gathering those files. I'll do that, inshallah. So thank you, all of you, ladies and gentlemen. Fifi, is it Fifi? Fifi, thank you. Much love to you. Sister Aram, I appreciate you. Thank you. One love. Is it JYA 1991? Abdul Samad Adam, JS Jihan, Jazz B. Guys, I appreciate all of you. Thank you very much. Mohammed Hassan, thank you very much for being an onboard member now. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. God bless you. Runway Insights. One love to you all. So this is where correctional officer brings this topic to an end. If you have a TikTok account, kindly join me there. Let's have fun, right? I might be there for 2-3 hours. That is extra bonus. You might be fortunate enough when I get some mushriks to come and fool around. the video will come on YouTube so that you get to watch, just like you get to watch the reels and the shorts, right? So I think it's interesting to make them famous, right? To get popular, so that we can see their hibijibis, right? So this is where I bring the topic to an end. I will say peace out for now, right? Is it a wrap? Always give them a reason to remember your name. As a correctional officer,